Hey, good morning, everybody. I don't know about, I guess it depends on if you were long or short, how good morning it is. ES down like 73 points right now. Ouch. But we're just barely poking any lower. And, CPI came in hot as I thought it would, almost right on the money. I was expecting a .1 beat, and that's pretty much exactly what we got. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Um, some of the big headline news last night that I saw late in the evening was that gasoline prices were coming up at the strongest rate, and right there we saw it. The core expecting a 0.3, got a 0.4. We got a 0.4 last time, duh. And the regular CPI expecting a 0.3, got a 0.4, duh. Year over year expecting a 3.4, got a 3.5. Come on now. I mean, I pretty much called it right on the money, and thought we were going to get a small beat, like 0.1. Exactly what we did. While they try to tame inflation, the reaction, a little more negative, but, well, we're not burning it down quite yet. Look right over here. Look where we just went back to this support zone right there. So far. Haven't broken anything yet. Interestingly enough. Nothing's broken yet. Just retraced, marginal lower low. No big deal so far. Now, this could lead to something bigger if we don't bounce. But so far, just pushing down a little bit. And, welcome everybody. Welcome Infinity, Mark, Don, Larry, David, Wade, Sergio, Ed, Michael, Eric, Robert, Kenneth, Michael, Jan, Nikki, Philip, Craig. Welcome. And if you want to chat with everybody on the live stream, just click over here. Be a subscriber on the channel. While I'm live, you can chat. Once I'm no longer live, the chat kind of closes up, and you can leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So that's what we got this morning. Look, doesn't that look like almost exactly the same candle we got right there? Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Funny, right? Doing the same exact move. What did we do after that move? We rallied back up. Didn't break out higher, but we rallied back up. That's like the exact same move. Almost to the tick. It's so crazy. So crazy how the market does these things. And we'll see what actually happens when we open up here. The advancers list was 2. And maybe that's declined to none at this point. And the decliners list was, I stopped at $4. Things moving $4 because it was getting so long. I was like, this is wild. Anyway, we're pushing into that support zone. We could push a little deeper. Could come all the way down to 5150 on ES. And that's what we've got at the moment. So good morning, everybody. All right. Where are we going next? Let's go ahead and do this real quick. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Yeah, welcome to that. Imagine that. One winner, one loser. Everybody's a buyer or a seller, and somebody's going to win or lose every single trade. So there's a substantial risk of loss, like 50-50 chance. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything at all. No financial assets, no financial instruments, no stuff from gurus. Don't buy or sell anything. Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy bonds, don't buy forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy treasuries, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. And if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. Make sure it's somebody you trust. And speaking of that guru thing, make sure you trust gurus you buy stuff from. If that's me, that's cool. If it's not me, just keep watching the free video here. I put out these YouTube videos every single day. I'm live right now, and I do this every single day to try to give you an edge in the markets and keep you abreast of the situation. So CPI came out exactly like I thought, kind of a knee-jerk reaction, but we may rally back. Now we have PPI coming out tomorrow, producer price index, and that one can be another knee-jerk. coming out before the market opens. But, do we come in hot? Do we come in cold? You know, this one's a little more muted. Like this one, look how choppy this is. We may come in almost flat on this one, actually. That would be, we're expecting 8.2. We could come in light on that one. And then the market would be like, oh boy, everything's cool. And we go rallying off. So be careful. Consumer prices are more influenced by oil, gasoline prices, than just about anything else. So, and gasoline is the highest price it's been in months, retail gasoline prices, and doesn't look like they're letting up. And all this Middle East turmoil and blah, 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 and Ukraine bombing refining factories in Russia, and Russia cutting deals with, was it Kazakhstan to secure distillate supply, while all their, like 6 of their refiners are down for bombing. I mean, like, there's going to be a supply. Like, there's a problem in the supply, and we're coming into the summer driving season. I mean, you may not even think about it, but April, May, June, oh man, we're in the summer driving season. And that's when demand for distillates is the highest in the United States. So, doesn't sound like we're headed toward a good time on prices as far as fuel goes. I was kind of looking at that last night, that heating oil / diesel fuel banging its head on the roadmap line from underneath, and gasoline prices, RB futures, gasoline futures, looking like they're about to break out, and CL definitely looking like, that's oil itself looking like it's going to break out. So these things all kind of culminating together here, pushing a little lower into the open, and we'll see what happens here in about 8 minutes. And I mean, in Q, just right back about, like, this is the tell to me. Look right here. NQ is not pushing lower. NQ was arguably the more bearish chart. We're actually not pushing lower yet. The lowest low was right there. We're not even pushing below it yet. This is kind of the tell. Makes you wonder. Russell here. Look at that one. Trying to get below this trend line. That's the caution, though. We can see that wrap up this. I was warning right there, and that's exactly what we did. Down. And let's do, I need to do a little. Could go just a little lower right there. Find support, do a corrective bounce. Kind of a second degree situation where we would go from here to here, rally back, almost that exact same spot. We would rally right back up to here once again. And that's the big, that's the warning sign. If we stop right there if we bounce there, come back up to there, that's like, uh-oh. That would be the uh-oh. And the S&P could make a new high while the Russell did that. So interesting there. See oil turning up. Probably going to go for this 90 area. Let's turn this off of the log mode. 90 area, and possibly up to this 105, 104, 105 area right up here. Above that, it's probably where we're heading next. We're heading to 90 next, and then we'll probably get a reaction. Then we could make a swift move from 90 to 100. That's what it looks like. Don't be surprised if some sort of news comes out from the Middle East and it makes oil go ripping higher. It would not surprise me one single bit right now. It's kind of crazy. Does the chart, I don't know if Sledge is here, but, does the chart make the move, or does the move make the chart? Or does, the news and it's really weird when you start wrapping your mind around the potentials here. GC getting a retrace. I thought we might. And we've got a long way to go to the roadmap line. I mean, a long way that this thing could retrace. I don't know where, which one we might go test. Looks like the hourly would be the first one that we're going to find out if we can hold. If we get below that, we'll probably come up, make an arc, come back and test it from the bottom and make another move down. So this is the area to watch on gold right now. is this 13 or 23, this 13, this 2330 area right here. I can't remove an oval for the life of me. There it goes. All right. So that's what we got cooking on gold. Probably due for retrace. Test that hourly. We haven't really been there since back on the 26th of March. So these things don't go up forever, despite what we would prefer. Always getting a retrace, always shaking out the weak hands. And so there's your first line of test on gold. I'm actually going to set an alert right there because I'm just curious at this point if we actually tag it. And if we hold that, then we could go up again. And that high to that low, whatever it might be, just guessing, 2400 would be the next potential move. We rally up to here, we get above that, and there you go. Simple as that. And let's see, the play rising. I don't think you can play nat gas if you want to. I'm not touching nat gas. I think it's basically dead for a while. You can play it if you want to. There's no reason that it would go higher right now. Bitcoin pushing back into these lows of the uptrend. Got to get my uptrend set correctly. We've got these lows here, and we're back in the vicinity right there. Need this area to hold and turn higher again. If we get below this area, it's probably game over for now. Probably going to go make a lower low than we made back here. Or at least revisit this low right here. And that could last us into the halving. If we get below that, probably going to do that. Into the halving. I don't know, we may bottom before, we may bottom after. It's probably going to do that though. If we bounce here, still the same target, 77,000. Simple as that right now. There's your trend. Got to hold that. Trends are the weakest kind of technical analysis tool. So be careful there. It's just an indication that this might not work out. We may poke below it and shake some weak hands out and kind of fake out and then rip. I mean, that's a common thing we see because, again, trend lines are like the weakest technical analysis thing. That's why my arrow is actually down here at the 786 level. If we get below that, we're probably going on down. So we could make a little nominal poke below this trend line. It's kind of like tease everybody. Get everybody convinced we're breaking the trend line and then rip it higher. But it also could come back and back test the trend line there and then go down. So two different things that can play out. And, of course, we could bounce off the trend line like we did all these other times. There you go. That's the path on Bitcoin at the moment. ETH, right back down. I really kind of believe that they're going to classify this as a security, and we're going to get a knee-jerk reaction out of Ethereum. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm convincing myself more and more. I'm like 80-20 right now. Might be edging that up even higher. So that's definitely one you need to watch out for. Bigger picture, daily chart, time frame. I mean, we moved down, we came up, found resistance at that 618, just like Russell. Can lead to a bigger down right there on Ethereum. It could be that we get that knee-jerk reaction right to here, and then we get the spot ETFs approved after we're down here, and we go ripping off. So roughly, I'm speculating, I don't have the exact date, somewhere right over here in May is when the spot ETFs for Ethereum should be approved. And we may see a second dip before that rips, if that's going to play out. BlackRock and ARK and a couple other people saying they still expect their spot ETF to get approved, even if it gets classified as a security. They just need to rework some of the language, I guess. There you go. So, dollar, look at that. I said probably going up. 70% likely. 105.50. That's it. That's where we're heading, more than likely. Spin the target. Right there. 70% likely. We're going to go tag that. Dun, 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 dun. Where does that target come from? It comes from this fib right here. Right there to there. We broke above that 618 back here in March. Came up, we just poked nominal higher high, retraced. Now the target right there, 105, basically 105.50. One of these days, we're probably going to hit it. Da, 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 da. All right. Moving on. Sometimes I get lucky on this. SRTY, ultra short Russell, popping, of course. And the market is open. Let's go look at this S&P real quick. Let's go see what the small time frame doing. Oh, staying in the range. Look, so far we may push a little lower. So far we're staying in the range that we set right back here. So crazy how it happens. Look at that ES rallying up to 66. Nice. We'll see what happens here. We may hold that low and bounce and go, and we may make an all-time high here in a few days. Wow. I'm amused. Sometimes I'm amused by what the market does. Are you not entertained? Anyway. That one came right back down, gap up, and slam back down. Important earnings, beating on the top, beating on the bottom, and nothing. Try to break out, fail. Let's see. I keep trying. I wish I could make shortcuts on these. Oh, look at that. 1272 and retrace all in one, like probably not even 5 minutes. One 5-minute candle. We tag the target and retrace it. I tell you, crazy. Anyway, biggest losers. MSTR, been warning. It's likely to come back to the roadmap line. We could hold this zone. We do have a little bit of support right in here. Right on that breakout time. Right on that breakout point. We found resistance, not a lot, but we found some resistance on the way up. We found some support right there on that retrace. If we can hold it on this retrace, we can go higher again. That move higher could take us. So if you're long this thing, we get below that, it's like your big warning, we're coming on down. Your big warning. And if you're sitting there going, I hope it goes up, you need to manage your trade. The next move's up. 291, possibly that target right up there at 2400, 2500. And that'd be if we bounce right there. If we push on below it, well, it starts changing things. Changes the dynamic here. I can't speculate where we might actually find a bottom in here. That actually wouldn't look bad because look, it puts that fib line right there. And we've been seeing the outsized moves up, so we could actually extend on up here to 28, maybe possibly 3,000 on MSTR. Could be exciting. So kind of want to see that hold, and right there. Interesting. SMCI continuing. Look at getting a little bounce, bounce, retesting kind of that where we found lows back in later March, or I guess the mid-ish, later mid-March or mid-later, however you say that. And if we get below that though, that can be the tell that we're going on down. Let's see if I drew it off the wrong one over here. See, this high, that low, this high. Yeah. Right in there would be the target. If we get below. This is if we get below here. If we bounce and do some other crap, yeah, we could, there's plenty of other things we could do. ASML, I really want to see that one retrace. AVGO, really want to see that one retrace. That one, as we talked about yesterday, is a hot mess of dangerousness. FNGU, really want to see that one retrace. More, W, like there's a lot of wind that could come out of the sales of the market here because everything barely budged. Even though we're huge down red today, nothing really moved in the big scheme. Monday, oh, look at that. Beautiful. Right back to the roadmap line. If we set up the trade here, I'd like to see it touch just a little lower, but that could be it. Break back above 224. Probably heading to 250, possibly 260 on the upside. Beautiful potential there. NVIDIA was big down. Now it's going to turn green. Strong NVIDIA. I expected to fill that, chug on down and fill that gap at the minimum. Netflix needs a retrace, but it can keep chugging higher. The all-time high right up here. Haven't tested it. We're just keep drifting. I mean, how long before we get there? Will earnings pop it or will earnings drop it? I give odds to a negative reaction on earnings, which would be a buying opportunity for that breakout above the all-time high. LABU, still looking weak on biotech, which caution on biotech and leverage. So caution on leverage also. And I just messed up my thing. Cool. There you go. Leverage. ANET. Need to retrace. Everything like all these things need a retrace. Oh my gosh. Here's support and resistance. I don't know. It's found resistance. 317 could be the next upside. Just grinding at this point. Nail coming back down pretty sharply. That's a CPI in action. That's a leverage right there too. Be careful on leverage. Meta keeps grinding. We got earnings coming up on the 24th. Adobe, a little bit shy of the target on the downside here. We got below that. And this is same patterns all the time. We got below this, and that's the target right there. BLDR, that's a component of nail, I'm pretty sure. Looks like we need the retrace, at least to the roadmap line, if not a little deeper. This point, it's not that fib that matters. It's this one. Yeah, that zone right there would take care of that one. HXL. That was a lower high. And that drop, that retrace. And this, that was a measured bounce. And might be a nested measure bounce. This one might be heading up here. Lennar, it's another component of nail. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. We pretty much hit that one. Look at that. Tag that almost exactly. A retrace back to here. If we're going to hold that, we could go up here. So these are the paths. Like we could come down here. If we hold that and climb this fib ladder and go on up here. If we don't hold that, probably come back to, and funny enough, this may come up and we hit that at the same time. Maybe a roadmap line bounce and a retrace, and that would set up a fib retrace. And dang. Yeah, it's so Lennar is probably going to fart around for till May and then bounce. And this thing come up right in there. Home Depot, almost back to the roadmap line. If you want the roadmap line, link is in the description. It's like $5. You can get this thing. It can be magical. It could be transformative for your trading. Bulls. That's a leverage thing. Be careful. It's ATN. Cat. Man, look at that. All the way up to the 272. Wicked, man. That's the move I'm talking about. Look. You see that retrace? And then we bounced up to the next fib level. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We popped up, retraced the fib level, up to the next one. We can retrace it back and up to the next one. Why do I use the fib lines I use? Because this is why. We tend to ping pong between them. We didn't even slow down at that one, but we found support there and then so crazy. So crazy. So I just try to tell you all the stuff that works, like for me. I mean, you can see it work every day when I do these live streams. So like I get amazed. Like I do. I sit here, I'm like, I can't believe it. I spent like 20 years of my life trying to figure this out, and then you can ask my dad if you ever come meet him, you can ask him. Like I spent years just saying if I could just figure out where prices were going to go next, I can make a ton of money. And it's highly likely we're going to retrace that one. Crowd, retrace it. Like that could be the high. That tag the 1272. Watch out. We get below that zone right there. Probably coming back down into this zone right in here where the roadmap line is. IVV. Probably coming back down. That one can squeak up one more squeak there. One more squeak. SPY, of course, doing the churn thing. If we hold that low, we're probably going to poke higher. VU, just like the SPX. And that same situation. QQQ, same situation. That one's actually holding them fairly higher low. I can see it. Guess all these lines don't actually matter here. Yeah, we're holding that higher low. Even though we broke down, came back up. Very cautious on what we're about to do. This high, this low, pushes up to 453, possibly 457 on QQQ for the next move. And if we got really excited, I mean, could go much higher, but we won't talk about that in a moment. Lin, chemical specialties, due for a retrace at some point here. Do we do it now? Do we do it later? I don't know. FSLR, trying to be bullish, but I'm not convinced at this point. Not convinced. It's really mucky. It's really choppy on this price action. And we've come up to the 100%. We could go on up to this 1956 area and still support going to a lower low than what we had right back here in November. Why do I say that? Check. Watch this. See that one? See that 618 right there? Found resistance there. Now, let me put that fib line back on. Look where that 1272 hits. Right there. Right in that zone. We can poke a little bit through it, turn down, and go lower low. How much lower low? Well, let's do the fib line this way. Could be down at 97. Could. I don't know. It doesn't have to. It can break above. We can get up here, confirm that we're going higher. We've got to get above these highs right up here. Got to get above that stuff. And then we confirm that we're probably going on up to 259, possibly 295. It's just not high probability with the way this is not clean. When it's not clean, and that's a big 1, 2, 3 potential, usually that ends up that we go further down. A prime example of this would be like snow right here. where I was warning that we're probably going to turn down, and that's exactly what we've done. And we need to flush it on down below this lower low, and we need to make a lower low. Any lower low lower than this point right back here in June of 22 can clean up snow. Overall, I'm bullish on their technology, but the chart tells me not to be bullish yet. Big 1, 2, 3. This took years to do this. We need one more flush out, and then we can clean this baby up and be bullish. But right now, that's not what we got cooking on snow. Same situation. This is not clean and what I would consider bullish. It can turn bullish, and prove me wrong, but this is not the kind of price action I'm looking for where it's all overlappy and nasty. So ENPH finding resistance at that roadmap line still. We may see this go lower. If we can get above, positive. If we don't, lower. If we stay in between, staying in between, sideways. IWM, like I was saying, that could result. This is one to watch. We could rally back up to where we were just yesterday and then push lower. And then if we don't hold support there, push lower. If we don't hold support there, could be pushing lower. 130 to 150. Lows. Coming back to the roadmap line is what that looks like. And the downtrend. Downtrend of highs. It's not like a strong downtrend of highs, but we had that high, that high. We broke above. Probably retest it and see if we can go higher. DPST. Regional banks. 3x bull. This is playing with fire. Banking starts reporting earnings, and we're below the roadmap line. That's a slight bearish bias, but we're holding support. I don't know. That's no high probability anything right there at the moment. PANW. Good job, Jeff. Selling puts. PANW below the roadmap line. If we can't break back above, that can result in a deeper push into this support right here. If we can, aggressively above 296, probably come up to this area. We left this large gap, so it's a huge resistance going higher. There's a pile of consolidation right in the middle of that gap. So that's going to be resistance. 413 is the target if we can get above that. Lulu keeps on burning it down. Didn't hold the... Me and Lulu have never gotten along. Just throwing that out there. This retrace. We're right in the zone to hold. If we can hold, turn into a bounce. Get back above the roadmap line, which is going to be coming down pretty viciously. We can get back above that. Here, indication we're going on up. This would be a measured bounce. So the target gets a lot bigger. And this took a long time, like 2 years. We could be talking about a move like that. Almost a double on shares for Lulu. Dash. Yeah, it's not my game. Not my bag, baby. Dash. Looks like it wants to roll at some point here. Toll Brothers. Looks like it wants to come back too. Watch out for the, like, if these retraces actually get going, there's so many things that want to retrace or need a retrace. This could lead to a bigger down in the market that could be pretty vicious. I mean, just back down to support on all these things. That's trying to break out of all-time highs. It's like 70% likely to go up here on Salesforce, but we could retrace it right back to the roadmap line before we do that. That'd be a nice 100-point move up. I mean, we're talking, that's almost 50%, it's 40%, I guess, on CRM, just on shares. That's pretty sweet. SAP, why do I like shares? Because you don't have to pay theta on shares. Buy options, you got to pay theta. Buy shares, you can just wait indefinitely. There is the, potential loss of interest or whatever. SAP looks like it's coming back down. DIA looks like it maybe wants to come back down. I don't really pay attention to Dow Jones much because it's so overcooked, but that one may come back down. CVNA, you may be like, what do you mean by overcooked? And just the adjustment factors on it make it like completely fake, CVNA. Looks like it wants to retrace. AMD, I was talking about this last night. Coming up on the roadmap line. Not far now. Actually, that one's not beat up much compared to how far the market was down. ZS, a lot of these things recovered pretty well by the open. Knee-jerk reaction. ZS is coming into that support zone right there. I've actually got the alert right there at 180. If we can hold that, turn back higher, get back above the roadmap line, sets this baby up for a potentially bigger upside. QCOM, just turning at the highs there. It was down, and now it's almost flat. URTY, probably coming down to the roadmap line. That's going to be a leverage thing that doesn't always follow the patterns. And mod, going fast because the list was big. And it looks like we're at the end, actually. So mod hitting resistance and may get a bigger retrace. That one right there. Yep. 1618. Now this could be done and we could go up again. Like we break back above that 99 area. 111 is the upside. Alrighty. S&P. Let's go look at what we got cooking since we've been open. Just chopping around a little bit. Not got a lot of information so far. I actually burned through that list really fast. Marginal. Move lower. Well, we did tag a lower low. Look at that. And reversed sharply. There's not a lot I can tell at this moment. There's not a lot of candles, not a lot of data here. It's just chop at the bottom here. If we start taking this, if we start leaving this consolidation behind, heading toward the roadmap line, this is a 1 minute chart right here. If we start leaving this behind, heading up here, I mean, look, that's resistance all the way up here at this point. All the way up there. That's why I use ES. You can see a lot more data here. We're consolidating right below, like right there. It's kind of the flip point where we bottomed here, crushed down, resistance, resistance. We'll break above it. We'll go test this resistance up here. Get above that. We can move up to the 5 minute. Ah, look at that. Almost right there. That'd be the next resistance up, wherever that comes in. Maybe down here by the time we get there. Simple as that. All right, everybody. That's the it's kind of the game plan for the day. I kind of expect this to bounce. Actually, maybe make a new high. I don't feel like we finished the upside on SPX, but if we rally up again and hold a lower high, then it's kind of the big tell of the market that we're going to experience a bigger down. We don't have the divergence at the top yet. I mean, we've kind of got it a little bit, but we need to finish it up. And one more high in ES. Russell may not make a high. It may come up much lower high. Once again, holding that 618 level. So that's what we got cooking. That's what we got cooking. Be careful out there. I'll be in Discord hanging out, watching, trying to make a couple bucks and work on some new stuff for you. Alrighty, everybody. Have a good day. See you later. Bye.